Hi. So today we're going to be discussing a little bit about the man and the battle of life. And I'm going to be quoting a lot from this book, the Gita for the youth, and it was written by Sri Aurobindo. I find it really important to sometimes revisit these ideas as I have existential thoughts, questions, and in my pursuit to bring out information that I believe is very important for the youth today to learn more about and to observe more of. I'm going to be choosing topics that I find are interesting enough for the youth to look at and ponder over. A day may come, must surely come, we will say, when humanity will be ready, spiritually, morally, socially, for the reign of universal peace. Meanwhile, the aspect of battle, the nature and function of man as a fighter, have to be accepted and accounted for by any practical philosophy and religion. The Gita, taking life as it is, and not only as it may be in some distant future, puts the question how this aspect and function of life, which is really an aspect and function of human activity in general, can be harmonized with a spiritual existence. When we speak about existence, I think one of the most important things that we really do need to keep in mind is that the life that we live, the life that we have lived, and the life that we will live is always going to be a war. There will come no point in life where you will look at it and think, wow, I have no challenge, no suffering, and no battle to fight for. Life is in every form a battle. I think this is a theme that is quite recurring in holy scriptures across the planet, and it is the fact that although human life is very precious, human life is constantly filled with challenges of every magnitude. The reason why we do exist in the first place is so that we may experience the magnitude of human emotions at every level possible. If you talk about happiness, human life is also going to be filled with that level of happiness that you might have never experienced before. If you think of sadness and anger, you're meant to, if this is the range of emotions, you're meant to be feeling all of it. And the more you distance yourself from this reality, the more you choose to be numb, the more you choose to be lazy, to be ignorant of the fact that reality is tough, that it is challenging, that it is filled with disappointments, the more you're delaying your human experience. Because the Gita talks so much about how experiences that are labeled as sufferings or conflict, it's an eternal part of human experience. When Arjun fights the battle of Kurukshetra, he doesn't just question why he has to suffer in this way, he also questions why others have to suffer in the way that they will, because war inflicts pain, people die. The answer to the question is that life always puts you in a position where you have to choose what you want to do moving forward. Based on the decisions that you make, life will decide what your karma has been. Your karma decides and defines your future experiences. And so the wiser I become, the more I am aware of what my suffering is bringing me, what it's for, the more I'm going to be able to handle it. So then this is why we say that the experienced, the wise, the knowledgeable, they always suffer lesser than we do. They know so much more. They know how to handle those emotions, and they are aware that this is what life is. So they've accepted that fact and they've made peace with it. Anytime I ask myself, why must I have faith? Why must I embrace the fact that life is suffering? To live is to suffer. I come back to this point. You will have to eventually accept that you cannot be happy all the time, that challenges are always going to exist, and without challenges and without sadness, there would be no happiness, and everything works in duality. The concept of duality actually, it's quite interesting, because when you think about it, without sadness, there would be no happiness. How would you ever know what it was to feel peaceful if you didn't know what chaos felt like? So in order to understand all the positive experiences, you must also understand all the negative experiences that life has to offer. I hope I've been able to make you question, ponder, or even think more about, well, the philosophy that Hinduism has. And of course, I would be very interested in talking more and more about this topic, the Gita, Holy Scriptures, Hinduism, life. These are all topics of interest for me. So feel free to comment down below if there's anything you want me to talk about. And this is a book that I do recommend. I found this by pure luck and chance, but I quite enjoyed it. I haven't read the whole of it, but there's so much in here for quite a small book. It's really impactful. Thank you and have a great day, and see you in the next video.